Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to another episode. Today's guest is one of the young African entrepreneurs who has grown to become one of the notable tech investors and CEOs in Nigeria and sub-Saharan Africa. His prowess in serial business development, investment, and management is clearly matchless. From selling ice blocks to neighbors to founding West African first eco-friendly technology hub called the Cans. Khalil is a living testament that you can unleash your innermost potential if you are focused. Irrespective of his ambitious goal-getting trait, Halilu has proven to be an all-rounder, with golf and polo being his major hobbies. Today, Khalil is an authority in the modern technology sector of Nigeria and African continent. In his own remarks, he always say, life is filled with uncertainties and challenges, but it is up to you to choose from which perspective you wish to look at these challenges and this change and adapt your attitude accordingly. Only when your perspective has changed will you be able to see opportunities that lie ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest for today, Khalil Halilu. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Habibi, good to see you.
Good to see you.
You know, when you call me Sheikh, people actually think I'm a Sheikh. I'm not a Sheikh. I'm just a normal man. Good to have you on the program. How do you do?
I'm doing great. And you?
I'm doing alhamdulillah, man. And then you look so mashallah today.
Try to be like Sheikh.
Did anybody give you a compliment before you came to the studio?
Well, not yet. Maybe I drive slow when going back home.
Allahu Akbar. But I'm giving my first compliment now.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you on the program. You know, it's really amazing. When I was going through your biography and what you do, what you've achieved so far, you know, you were selling ice blocks to your neighbors. And subhanAllah, now you've become one of the recognized tech individual. Tell me about your life journey in that aspect.
Okay, well, ever since I was a kid, you know, I like to play with things.
Right.
And I like creating value, you know, out of different things. I remember back in secondary school, I was one of the few that have internet at home, which is a dial-up connection.
Right.
So typically I would take requests from people in the school who wants me to download a new track or a new video. You know. And then a track can take like a whole night, you know, to download, and I burn it on a CD and then go back and sell, you know, to my friends.
So you sell it at that time?
Exactly. So also, I was living in Kano. It's very hot. You know, people always want to drink something cold. And I saw an opportunity to sell ice. You know, of course, there's a free generator in my house. So I saved up my lunch money to buy a big refrigerator, and I begged my mom, and she agreed. And then I had to plug it and be tying ice blocks. You know?
Amazing.
So I tie it today. You can harvest after like 2 days, because for it to be strong, you know, it takes at least 2 days of cooling.
And this was when you were in secondary school?
Yes, this was when I was in secondary school, and I was selling it to neighbors. And anytime, you know, we miss a day without selling, for example, maybe I used to tip my security guard to make sure that the fridge is on. You know, and whenever that happens, you know, I get very, very angry and upset, you know, because that's just 1 day of sales, you know, that wasn't gone. Amazing. And, you know, throughout my life, I believe in adding value in whatever you do. When I moved to school, I started my university in Malaysia, you know, and I'm the go-to person whenever you need something. Of course, it won't be free, you know. I'll find a way of adding value. I remember one of the courses we took is called Small Business.
Right.
And part of the requirements of the course is you'll be given 3 days where you need to come up with a business within those 3 days.
Right.
And then sell it within the school, you know, and you declare profit. I remember then we saw opportunity. People like African culture, but they don't have access to it. So we designed a cultural day, you know, as part of the business. Wow. The tickets was, you know, fully sold. You know, even people from other schools and other, you know, parts of the country, you know, were coming to watch. We filled up the multipurpose hall for the school. I think about 2,000 capacity, you know.
Wow.
And we made a sales that it was a record breaker.
Amazing.
You know, throughout the, you know, schools.
So you were like the big boy in secondary school.
Yes.
Let me cut you short there. You know, we have been created in the best of ways. So we must nurture and protect our body properly, and that includes our skin. The Raw Beauty Hamilton packages gives you the promise of a clean, safe and effective product. And guess what? They will be at the One Owner Convention with their booth there on the 24th and 25th of November in Abuja. Make sure you check them out. Did your parent have an impact on what you were doing? Because parents today, when they see their kids trying to do business, engage in money, they'll be like, just focus in school.
Yeah.
Did you have that challenge as well?
Well, my dad is a businessman, he's an entrepreneur.
Ah, I see.
Okay, but my mom is a lawyer, so she's strict. So, you know, I have to be not too high, not too...
Have to find a balance.
You have to find a balance,
right.
Yeah. But also with him, he tells... There was a time I was doing too many businesses, and he had to tell me that, you know, you have to slow down and concentrate on your education. When you finish, you know, the world is yours. You can sell whatever you want to sell.
Amazing.
You know, to people.
Amazing. Yeah. So from that, you know, journey of your life, whereby you were selling ice block to people, you organized this event in secondary school. In the university, you were the go-to person, right? People come to you, they ask you for stuff, you do stuff for them. Of course, as you said, they pay, right?
Yeah,
now, at that point in your life, was that when you realized that you wanted to go into tech business, or you did other things and you failed, and you didn't, you know, before you went into the tech sector?
Okay, I mean, definitely failure, you know, is always there. Till today, you've always failed. And I'm the kind of person that want to fail quickly so that I can fix it and move on. You know, I don't hold on to, you know, to things. But what happened was, right from childhood, you know, whenever my parents buy me toys, I like to open it and see how it works.
So you ruin it?
Yeah. And then try to couple it back. So I've always had interest in you know, crafts and technology, and also interest in doing things differently. I don't like going the conventional way. So part of the things I've studied from school, you know, is business and tech. And when I came back, you know, to Nigeria, I started working with my family, you know, doing manufacturing of various things. But even before I arrived, you know, I bought an attendance management system that used fingerprint, you know, for the factory. And I'm sure the moment I entered, everybody hated me in the factory, you know, because now you are breathing down people's neck. But at some point, the family business is a matured business. I feel it's like pushing a car that is already moving, you know,
right.
You're not adding so much value.
Sure.
And I wanted to carve out, you know, something for myself.
Right.
And of course, technology was the obvious one. I've made so much friends from outside the country, you know, in school from Europe, you know, and Asia, and I feel we shouldn't waste that relationship. So we started linking up to see there are some technologies that are too advanced for Nigeria, maybe in the UK, but then a little bit advanced when you look at India, you know, but Nigeria is not there yet, and see how we can, you know, work around it,
right,
and then bring it down. So we started by building things as simple as websites, you know, to people. But again, going back to how I like doing things, always value. It's not just you building a website for someone that looks fancy, but how does it add value to whatever, you know, they are doing. So we started building from website to apps, you know, for government, for companies, you know, and the likes. Along the line came the election, you know, and we said, okay, how do we add value to election transparency, you know, with technology? So we built an election monitoring system. And the system was...
The first of its kind.
The first of its kind. A lot of people were skeptical because it's a crowdsource. It crowdsource information, from the people on the streets. So, and for something very sensitive like election, getting data from people that you don't even know, and presenting it to the world and declaring it that this is, legit information. A lot of people were skeptical. Some people said, if it fails, we have no affiliation with you, but God so kind, we were able to report 48 hours ahead of INEC and with 97% accuracy.
Mashallah.
Yeah. That goes a long way to show...
What year was that?
The last election, 2015.
Last election, 2015,
yeah.
Wow.
We did one in 2009, but it wasn't as advanced as this. And it became successful. So I wanted to concentrate on one of my startups called Sharp Sharp, where we do logistics.
Right.
And then I said, okay, we're going to have a fancy office now, and that's where the cans came about. And of course, the world is going into sustainable development, everything, impact, and the likes. So, and of course, I like doing things different. So we said, okay, let's build a place out of shipping containers, So.
Well, why did you call it the cans, though?
Containers, cans. Yeah, so multiple containers.
So if you can come to the place that
exactly. And I remember we even put a very loud or shouty tagline for it, And
what was it?
It was for those who can.
For those who can.
Yeah, and someone told me, that's a little bit arrogant, Can you tone it down a little? And then we change it to a place for those who can, to make it a little bit warm.
From for those who can to a place for those who can.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So as at that time, it was supposed to be my personal office, and a friend of mine came and was like, do you feel comfortable, building something so good just for you, just for yourself? And anytime I go back home, it keeps haunting me, what he said. And I remembered we still have a problem because a lot of people that contributed towards the election transparency now are on my neck, and I don't know what to do. And I'm not a politician that I can give them appointments, And, after one or two brainstorming, we said, what, let's convert it to a hub, and where businesses like mine, people meet, where you create opportunities, for young people. And today that's where the cat is.
We have been created in the best of ways. So we must nurture and protect our body properly, and that includes our skin. The Raw Beauty Hamilton packages gives you the promise of a clean, safe and effective product. And guess what? They will be at the One Owner Convention with their booth there on the 24th and 25th of November in Abuja. Make sure you check them out. That's really amazing because, in a country like Nigeria that we live in, it's very difficult for you to find a place where young people are being groomed and to become better people. We live in a society where if one person is making it, okay, I'm not going to fight with that person because I don't want him to make it. If why is he making it if I'm not making it? So, and I usually tell a lot of young people that, every young person needs someone to take them somewhere within themselves that they cannot go by themselves. In other words, they need like a guide, that's someone that will make them understand, someone who has done it, someone who has understood the process and the likes of it. What were the challenges you faced in trying to create the hub, bringing different categories of people that you do not know, or were you just focusing on people that you know?
So for me, it was easy because I like people, and previously I've already build my name around solution, being solution driven,
Right.
And over time, people have come to realize that when we go in for a meeting and I make a suggestion or bring an idea and someone says no, and I don't argue about it, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It's not just going to happen without you, So, so that made it a lot easier when you bring people, to do something crazy, because they've seen you done, similar things in the past.
Yeah.
So it makes
it way easier for you.
It makes it a lot easier.
Amazing. Let's go to the tech. You once made a statement whereby you said we need information technology as much as we need agriculture. Can you elaborate more on this statement?
Okay. I mean, in the world, whenever you're talking about resources, whether it's human or other kind of resources, Africa is always on top, in terms of abundance of resources. But have you ever wondered why, despite having so much resources, we still haven't been able to pull through to achieve the kind of potential, that the continent has,
Right.
And today, if you go to a doctor, and you said, I'm having tummy ache, the first thing he's going to ask you is, go back into history. What did you eat? What did you combine it with? And so on and so forth. So I believe in order to tackle solutions in Africa, we need to be able to capture data, in the right manner, analyze it properly, and use intelligent approaches, to solving problems. It doesn't make sense for us to approach things conventionally when you have so much problems and so many resources.
Right.
One of my startups, Sharp, we did a research, to understand the last mile delivery problems in Africa. And you'll be surprised, the problem is that the market is too large for the logistic companies to handle. And that's why they struggle, which without data, you wouldn't be able to know that. And it's almost unbelievable that how can having too much of a big market become a problem, But now, if you take, let's say, a local airline in Nigeria and put it on Emirates route, it sounds like so much opportunity.
Absolutely.
But it will just be disastrous, because you have maybe less than 10 planes trying to cover a route that is typically serviced by hundreds of, planes. So I strongly believe that we can't approach things conventionally. We need to collect quality data, analyze it, and pinpoint it to our problems, and constantly optimize in order to have good answers.
Amazing. Khalil, we're just going to take a short break and be right back.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, stay tuned, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Alhamdulillah, we've been discussing with Khalil. Halilu. Habibi, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Sheikh.
Exactly. Before we went on a short break, you were telling us about that amazing quote of yours whereby you say we need technology in as much as we need agriculture. Now, so many young people are talented. They want to unleash their innermost potential, right? However, they unleash the potential. But the problem is they don't know how to make money out of this. What advice do you have for such kind of young people?
Well, this is where collaboration comes into play. They need to look for, number one, they can acquire skills.
Right.
But even easier is if you look for complementary person, or partner, to work with. Some can handle the technical side of things, and then some handle the finance, marketing, sales. Think of it like a football team, right? Just because you have Ronaldo on your team and you don't have any good defenders, it means, it doesn't even out,
Right.
Somebody needs to pass the ball to Ronaldo. So, it's the same concept. And I see the mistake people in the tech space make a lot is just because you know how to code or you know how to build things, that is not the alpha and omega of everything. There was a time in the farm, somebody came with an amazing device called a hoe, to simplify digging, So at some point, a hoe was a technology, and likewise, whether building a website or app and, and things like that. So it's just an enabler, not the ultimate solution. You need the right kind of person to market it. You need to know whether it's even marketable, whether you can make money out of it. How do you, what about the finances around it? Does it make any sense? So this is where, you need collaboration.
So what you're saying right now, if a young person has, a talent, and let's say, for instance, now a graphic designer, a videographer, or somebody designs one of the best applications out there, for them to become more successful, are you saying that they need to collaborate with other people of like minds?
Of course.
Now, very good. How do they do this collaboration? Because to be sincere with you, I've seen a lot of people who want to collaborate with individuals, but they end up taking advantage of that individual. Yeah. So a lot of young people are like, I'm set back. This guy want to steal my idea. He just want and like so. And I've seen that happens a lot. How can they draw a balance in this kind of situation?
I think it's like any relationship, right? Whether with a friend or you are getting married, you have to understand each other, and we have to have mutual respect, right? I'm the best defender, you're the best striker. So I defend, and then you make sure you score goals, So that balance has to be, you have to strike that balance. And I don't fancy ideas, because ideas are cheap. You get ideas from everywhere. What I respect the most is traction.
Traction?
Yeah. People that wake up and get things done, those are people you should be scared of, not people that will steal your ideas. I'm sure we are living in Abuja. You meet the average guy on the street, he has like 10 business ideas, proposals. There's a proposal to one ministry. There's, some new product being built,
right,
and the likes. But finding people that have real traction, it's always difficult. And that is where people should really, focus on. And if you're afraid of making mistakes, then you're not going anywhere. People will attempt to steal your idea. People will attempt to steal your product. People will try to sabotage you, and that's part of business. That's part of growing. It's a jungle. And you need to survive it. So
amazing. I love the fact that you say it's a jungle and you need to survive it. So you just need to keep fighting, man.
Exactly.
Amazing. Let me go to my next question, right? You've said something very important about people collaborating, and I'm trying to talk more on this collaboration simply because it affects the fabric of the existential crisis of the youth presently today, whereby they find it difficult to see how best they can collaborate. I, as a young person now, I want to start up a business. Let's say I have an idea, right? I run one of the most big media company, and I'm single-handedly running that company. What is the first thing I need to do before I can make my company become big like your company?
Well, I think the first thing is be truthful to yourself and identify your own strength and your own weaknesses, okay? And then try to seek for complementary skills, you know what you can do, you know what you're good at, tomorrow if I invite you, I say, come, let's play polo, and I put you on my team, the chances of us losing, I'm sure it has doubled, or you falling,
Absolutely,
exactly, bro. So you look for the, right person or skills to complement what you don't have, and
so you be sincere to yourself, you identify what you don't have and look for the people that have that.
Exactly.
Amazing. My next question, we all know that you're a polo player, you love to play polo, mashallah, tabarakallah. I have a polo stick in the studio and a polo cup, but trust me, I don't even play polo. But it reminds me of the fact that inshallah someday I will play polo. Tell me, this game, right, you love it so much. Doesn't your game stop you from achieving what you want to achieve? Don't you get distracted? Because I know polo requires a lot of your time and effort. How do you balance it?
Well, you see, life has to has a balance. Okay. Um, I used to have, I used to be all work, you know, and trust me, I have Chinese and Indians on my team, and at some point they called me crazy, you know, and that's when I realized that you need to slow down. But as you progress into your career, there will come to a point whereby you don't physically move things. Okay, it's strategy that determines where your organization or where your company is moving forward. So you become a strategic player, more like the coach of the team. So if you are being put in a position like that, that means you need to think well. You need to think with a fresh head. And in order to have fresh head, you need to exercise, you need to eat well, you need to be under less pressure, and then you need balance in your life.
Right.
You can't take quality decisions, when you're under extreme stress all the time. The quality of the decision will drop, and then it will run your company into trouble. If you take one good quality decision a day, it's enough, versus you being tired or not having a balance and make like 10 bad decisions, in a day.
Right.
So
amazing. I know you have a horse called Crypto. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it Crypto the name?
Yes, Crypto.
Crypto.
Yes.
That means that you love crypto. And from a research about you, I heard that you're one of the most learned when it comes to that. I mean, Allah make it easy for us all. I'm confused about crypto. I've never done crypto. I've never put my money in. I'm always scared. They say, you want to put your money, you have to risk the money. Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about crypto?
Well, there are two things here to separate.
Right.
There is the blockchain, which is a technology that drives the crypto. And then crypto currency, think of it as shares, okay? It's an innovative way where I can own a share in your company without going through the tedious paperwork, okay? So you can create a company, let's say S company, and you issue S coins, which is like the evidence that this person has a share in this company, rather than going to the Corporate Affairs Commission, and be doing multiple things. So it serves as two things: one, as an evidence for the share, and secondly, as a means of exchange. Today, if you have dollar in your pocket, it's equivalent to you buying share in the American government. Likewise, if you have naira in your pocket, if I said, Sheikh, I like your cap, but I want to give you, I have some shares in Dangote Cement, and I want to give you the share in exchange for your cap. I'm sure if it makes sense.
It already makes sense, brother.
Exactly. Exactly. So you can see money, shares, gold, diamond, they're all means of exchange, right? They're all things that carry some certain value. So it's the same way where companies now digitally, retain value. So if you have a company that has 1 million coins or 1 million shares, I come and buy 50%, you give me 500,000 coins. So number one is a representation that I own 50% of the company, and secondly, it's also a means of exchange.
Amazing. I think I'm going to interview you just on a different interview on crypto, inshallah. But you want made a statement. You say profit doesn't determine your next business. Can you elaborate on that?
Okay. So the full statement is profit doesn't build your next business. Goodwill does.
Can you say that again?
Profit doesn't build your next business. Goodwill does.
Amazing.
Essentially, what I'm saying is, if you look at people that have really done great business-wise, okay, if you roll back and see their previous business, we have people that one moment they are selling flour, The next moment they've built a cement factory and then refinery. I don't need to mention names, right? But if you look at it, the profit from the flour business is not enough to build the next line of business, right? And even if a bank says, collateralize your factory, your flour factory, and let's build the next business, it's still not enough, So nobody's asking question how come, they're able to build those mega businesses. And the simple answer is goodwill, and goodwill is something that you can walk into the bank without a collateral, and they give you a loan to build a factory or a mega business, simply because you've done it before. You have good track record. They know you're not going to take money and run away. They know you have the best interest of the economy at hand and things like that. So why I mention this is I see a lot of young people being very stiff. It's good to be stiff with business, but get so much distracted that I'm going to make so much money by hook or by crook, taking so much risk, or even taking shortcuts, trying to cheat people, in order to
become rich.
Yeah, build up some profit to build the next business. Yes, you might build profit immediately, but you don't have credibility. Even if you build the next business, you need other people to, plug into it. So, and goodwill doesn't have a price. If you deal with people on good terms, you don't cheat people. You are very humble, with whatever you do. People will chase after you with, resources, and say, we have a new business, we need you to be on board, and things like that. So let's not get distracted by profit. Money doesn't build your next business.
Amazing. I think this is going to be my take back home. Money doesn't build your next business, but goodwill does. Khalil, thank you so much for coming on the program. I really enjoyed this session. And so how can people reach out to your company? Do you have like a website? Or how can people reach out to you and know more about you, or the way if they want to work with you, or your hub? How can they reach out to you?
I have my personal website.
Right.
KhalilHalilu.com.
KhalilHalilu.com.
Yeah, and from there it leads you to every other thing.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Khalil, for coming on the program.
All right, thank you very much.
Khair. All right, there, viewers, alhamdulillah, we've come to the end of this episode. I hope you've learned. Always remember, it's not just about hearing, but about implementing. I'll leave you all in the care of the most gracious, most merciful. Assalamu alaikum.